Here's something wild. Right now, you can go to your preferred AI clanker, type in "build me a website for a premium pump builder in Florida," and have a website in 5 minutes. AI photos, generate copy, you get the whole thing. And it'll look clean and professional, right? But it will sit there doing absolutely nothing for your business. If you're new to the channel, my name is Edward Boca, and I'm the CEO of Contracting Empire. I've been building websites since 2003, back when you actually had to hand code every page, back when dial-up was still a thing. In 20-some years, we've built well over 1,000 sites. We've tested thousands of variations, tracked where people click, where they bounce, where they convert, and where they disappear. The gap between a website that looks good and a website that actually generates revenue has never been wider than it is right now. By the end of this video, you're going to understand the 5 questions that every homeowner is already asking in their heads the second that they even land on their website. Answer them in order and they will convert. Do not follow the process and they will bounce. Welcome to the Contractor Website Masterclass. Make yourself comfortable. This one's gonna be a banger. Here's the thing about your website. You think it's a brochure, a digital business card, something you can point to and say, yeah, we've got a site. But the homeowner on the other end isn't really browsing. They are interrogating. They've got those 5 questions running through their head the moment that your page loads. They don't know that they're actually asking them, right? Like the whole process is subconscious, it's automatic, and it just happens very fast. If your website answers those 5 questions in the right order, the homeowner will naturally want to move forward. If your site misses even one of them or answers them out of sequence, they bounce. They just click back to Google or they will go and find the next guy. It's really an invisible conversation that they're having with themselves. Every single element on your website, the headline, the photos, the layout, the button color, the form, the reviews, the copy, either moves that conversation forward or it is just gonna kill it. And I'm going to walk you through all of the 5 questions. And on question 3, I'm actually going to show you something that most contractors have never even seen. The actual words that the homeowners use to describe their problems and why those exact words should be on your site instead of what you actually think that sounds good. Here's the reality nowadays. The barrier to having a website is almost zero. Anyone can spin up one in an afternoon, but this also means that the barrier to having a website that actually works just went through the roof. Because when every site is built by the same clanker, the one that feels different for the homeowner is going to win. And feeling different comes from understanding the human on the other side of the screen. AI can't do that, right? Templates can't do that. Only data and intentional design can do that. And everything I'm about to show you runs through one single filter, the filter of perceived value. Perceived value is benefits over cost, right? The benefits could be anything from speed, availability, social proof, the right fit, trust that you showcase online, literally whatever the homeowner thinks is a benefit for them. And cost is usually a factor of, time, money, effort, and risk. Now, every element on your website either increases the benefits the homeowner perceives. They go like, okay, this company looks legit. They understand my problem. They've done great work. Or it reduces that perceived cost. Well, this feels easy. This feels safe. This won't waste my time. When that perceived value is high, they are gonna reach out. When it's low, they leave. Every question in the invisible conversation either raises the top of that equation or lowers the bottom. All right, let's get into the questions. Question 1.
Is this for me?
This happens in the first 3 seconds. This is where most contractor websites die. Right here, before anyone even scrolls, before anyone actually reads a word on your about page, before anyone actually sees your portfolio. 3 seconds. That's the maximum you get in today's goldfish attention span era. A homeowner lands on your site and they're not reading, right? They're just scanning. Their brain is processing one question and one question only. Is this for me? Right? Can this company do what I need? Do they work where I live? Am I actually in the right place? If they can't answer that in 3 seconds, they're gone. Look at this. Building dreams since 1998. What does this company do? Where do they operate? Is this a deck builder? Is it a roofer, a general contractor? If I'm a homeowner in Phoenix looking for someone to build me a roof, this page gives me absolutely nothing. I'm back on Google in 2 seconds. Now look at this. Above the fold, I know 3 things: what they do, where they do it, and even why I should trust them. That's the 3-second test: service, location, proof of life. Let's touch a bit on service area relevance, right? Because this one's bigger than people realize. When a homeowner searches for deck builder near me or bathroom remodeler and city name, they are already telling you what they want and where they are. Your homepage just needs to confirm that instantly, right? Call out your city, call out your service area. If you serve 3 counties, say it. If you're the #1 deck builder in Omaha, put that above the fold, not buried in the footer, not on some service areas page that nobody really visits. Carter is one of our clients based in Indianapolis, right? When he came to us, his company was called Clean Cut. Think about that for a second, right? Even the domain name was confusing. What does this company do? Lawn care? Is the barber shop? You have absolutely no idea. We rebranded to Decks on Point. We rebuilt the website around one clear answer. This is a deck builder in Indianapolis. Above the fold, Decks. The headline, Decks. Service area called out. Trust, it's there. 2 seconds and you know exactly what he does and where and why he's cool. And he went from 15 low-ticket jobs a year to closing $1.5 million in 9 months. And now he's on track to hit 5 million this year. Same guy, same skills, same market. The only thing that really changed was the answer to, is this for me? Went from, I have no idea, to yes, obviously, this guy has it. So here's where that value equation we talked in the beginning kicks in, right? When a homeowner can immediately confirm, yes, this is a deck builder in my city, that perceived cost of engaging just drops, right? It feels easy, it feels relevant, there's no friction. They keep scrolling now, right? When they can confirm that perceived cost goes up and they start questioning, do I have to dig around to find out if they serve my area? And that feels like friction and effort. And effort kills conversations. So they pass question 1. They know you do what they need and you do it where they live. Now the second question kicks in, and this one actually runs a little bit deeper. And that question is,
can I trust these people?
Think about what's happening in that homeowner's head. They're about to spend $15,000, $30,000, maybe $80,000 on something that they can't return. Something that's going to be attached to their house or their neighbors are going to see. Their spouse is obviously going to have an opinion about it. And the stakes are high, right? Because they've probably been burned before by a contractor who disappeared, by someone who underbid and underdelivered, by a guy who seemed legit on the phone and then ghosted after the deposit. Now they land on your website and they are carrying all that baggage with them. And your website has about 60 seconds to answer, can I trust these people? For this one, we'll leverage the 4 cores of credibility popularized by Stephen Covey in The Speed of Trust. And they are integrity, intent, capabilities, and results. And your website needs to address all 4. First up, integrity. Do they do what they say that they'll do? And this shows up in your messaging consistency, your warranties, your guarantees, your transparency about process and pricing. If your site says premium, but your photos look amateur, that's an integrity gap. The homeowner feels it even if they can't name it. Then we move on to intent. Do they have my best interest at mind? This is where brand and story come in. And I'm not talking about the generic About Us page with a stock photo and 3 paragraphs about your commitment to excellence. I'm talking about putting the actual humans behind the business front and center. Who are you? Why do you do this? What do you stand for? We work with a window installer, Nathan from Windows for Life. He adopted his son from Ukraine. He donates to orphanages. That's on his website. That's in his messaging. Not because it's a marketing trick, because it's who he is. And homeowners connect with that on a level that no stock photo or generic copy will ever reach. People want to do business with people, not companies, not logos, people. If your website feels like it was generated by a machine, and let's be honest, a lot of them literally were, you've already lost that trust game because there's no human in the conversation. The next one from the Speed of Trust, capabilities. Can they actually do the work? This is your portfolio, your project photos, your before and afters, but placement matters, right? A lot of contractors bury their best work on a gallery page that gets, 2% of their traffic. Meanwhile, their homepage where 80% of visitors land has zero visual proof. Put your best projects where the eyeballs are. And the last one, results. Did it work for other people, right? Reviews, testimonials, case studies. But here's the thing, right? It's not about having them, it's about where they sit on that page. So let's touch on proof architecture a little bit. This is one of the biggest things we've learned from testing hundreds of websites. Where proof shows up on the page matters way more than how much proof you have. A 5-star review sitting right at the moment someone is deciding whether to reach out does 10 times more work than 50 reviews sitting on a standalone testimonials page that nobody really navigates to on their own. Before and after gallery, 2 scrolls about the call to action does more work than a portfolio section buried 3 clicks deep. Think of it this way, right? Proof is most valuable at the point of decision, not hidden away from people where they are already convinced enough to find it. You want the proof showing up for the people who are still on the fence. That's where it converts. And here's why this matters right now. AI-built websites have zero trust architecture. They might pull in some generic reviews, they might work with a stock photo of a team, but there's no soul in any of it. There's no story, there's no reason to believe this company is different from 8 other identical looking sites that the homeowner just visited. Your story, your values, your crew, your process, your real photos, that's your moat, right? It's the one thing that a template can generate. The homeowner who reads about your actual journey, sees your actual team, and reads reviews from real people in their neighborhood, that homeowner trusts you. And trust converts. So we've covered the first 2 questions. Is this for me? And can I trust these people? Those are the filters, right? If your site fails there, nothing else really matters. The homeowner is gone. But if they pass, now it gets interesting. Because question 3 is where most contractor websites really fall apart. And it's the one that separates sites that look good from sites that actually make money. So question number 3.
Do they understand my problem?
Let me be blunt about something. The copy on most contractor websites is written by the contractor or by a marketing person who's never actually talked to a homeowner. And it sounds like this. We use premium materials and deliver exceptional craftsmanship with over 20 years of experience. That's nice, right? And all contractors talk about it, but it means nothing to the homeowner. And here's why. That sentence is about you, your materials, your craftsmanship, your experience. But the homeowner sitting on the other end, they're not really thinking about your materials. They are thinking about their problem. And their problem sounds nothing like your marketing copy. I've been doing this for long enough that we've processed thousands of sales calls, actual recordings, actual homeowners describing why they're reaching out. And the language gap between what contractors put on their websites and what homeowners actually say is massive. The contractor writes, premium deck construction with quality materials. The homeowner says, our old deck is falling apart and I'm scared that my kids are going to get hurt. The contractor writes, full service bathroom remodeling. But the homeowner says, I've been putting this off for 3 years because the last contractor I hired was a nightmare. The contractor writes, expert basement finishing. The homeowner says, we need more space and I really don't want to move. Do you see the gap? The contractor is talking about what they do, the homeowner is talking about what they feel, and feelings drive action. Logic doesn't show up until later. And speaking of messaging, let's talk about pain-based copy and aspiration-based copy. For websites specifically, the sweet spot is a mix. Pain-based copy grabs attention. It mirrors the homeowner's problem back to them and they feel seen. If your deck is showing its age and you're worried about safety, you are in the right place. On the other side, aspiration-based copy paints the outcome. It pulls them towards that future state. Imagine walking out to a brand new deck this summer, cold drink in hand, while the kids run around in the yard. And you need both. The pain hooks and the aspiration moves. And I decided not to hold anything back on this video, so hit subscribe just for the next tip alone. You know the best source material for both. You probably already have it. It's in your intake calls, it's in your appointments, your reviews, your intake forms. The language is already there. You just need to start recording all of it, find patterns in that language, and put it on your site. And I'll share a personal story from back in the day when one of my dearest childhood friends passed away suddenly, and basically her husband was left raising 2 kids by himself. I mean, needless to say, finances were tight. So I helped him set up an online shop for his outdoor clothing store. One of the most popular products in the store were these Gore-Tex waterproof boots. When we put that online, we got crickets. And I was stumped, right? So I drove down to the store like a maniac, and I spent a day asking everybody in the store, eyeing the boots, what they're looking for from the boots. Most of these guys were like hunters or fishermen over 50 years of age, right? So their vocabulary wasn't really modern. Online, we were talking about waterproof boots. In Romanian, they weren't really using that word for it. They just wanted boots that can resist water. So we changed the messaging and we made bank online too. The product didn't change, the quality didn't change, we just joined that conversation that was going on in their heads. So when a homeowner reads copy that mirrors their exact situation, I'm scared my kids are going to get hurt on this deck, the perceived benefit goes through the roof. They feel understood. They feel like this company gets them. And that's an emotional benefit that's worth way more than any credential or statistic that you can list. And when they feel understood, that perceived cost drops because it feels safe. It feels like this company will take care of them. There is less risk of hiring the wrong person when the right person already understands the problem before you even pick up the phone. On to question 4.
What happens if I keep going?
The homeowner has already answered yes the first 3 questions. They know you serve the area, they trust you, and they feel understood. Now what? Well, this is where most contractor websites fall off a cliff because there's no path, no next step, no flow. The homeowner lands on the homepage, reads some stuff, maybe clicks to a blog, reads half an article, clicks to the gallery, looks at a few pictures, and then what? And then where do they go? What do they do next? If the answer is figure it out themselves, you've lost them. Every main page of your site should be designed with intent and fulfill one job: move that conversation forward. This is the concept. The page fulfills its job when it does 2 things: answers the current questions and points to the next step. Your homepage answers, is this for me? Can I trust them? Can they solve my problem? Boop. Then it points to your services and your call to action. Your service page answers, do they do exactly what I need? Then poof, it points to proof and your call to action. Your gallery answers, is their work any good? Then you show them, it's good, boss, followed by your call to action. Your about page answers, is this a legit business? So you show them that you're a real human and why what you've built is special, and then, you guessed it, point them to a call to action. Notice how I didn't say call to actions? No, one clear call to action of what you want them to do. Get a quote, schedule a consultation, get a call back, whatever. One single call to action. That's flow. That's a user journey. That's leading the horse to water and helping it drink too. Here's something that I see on almost every contractor website. 10 items in the freaking navigation: home, about, services, gallery, blog, testimonials, FAQ, service areas, careers, contact. It's a freaking maze. So what happens, right? A homeowner lands on your homepage and they're interested, they are warm, and then they see blog in the navigation and they click it because they're curious and they start skimming through articles, and 2 minutes later they've forgotten why they even came to your website in the first place and they bounce. Your navigation gave them a way out and they took it. The flow should be simple. Homepage, maybe the about page because it's almost always the second most visited page on any website, then a service page, and then convert. That's it. That's the path. Everything in your navigation should push people down that line, not sideways into a rabbit hole. Does that mean that blogs are useless? No, but the blog isn't for people who are already on your website. The blog is for people who haven't found you yet. Someone Googles or ChatGPTs, how much does my deck cost in Georgia, and they land on your article. And that article guides them toward the service page or a call to action. The blog is an entry point from search, not a detour for visitors who are already warm. Back in the day when HMC came to us, they were doing everything. Kitchens, bathrooms, roofing, siding, decks, you name it. Their website was a maze. A homeowner would land on the homepage, saw 12 different choices, and they would leave. Because the market supported it, we niched them down to basement remodeling. One clear service, one clear path. Homepage, basement remodeling, contact. Linear, clean, no confusion. They went from 1.8 million doing everything to 2.9 million a year with way less stress because the path was clear. The homeowner never had to guess what to do next. You have to match the flow of the page to the flow of the mind. Questions first, answers in order. Action when they're ready. Which brings me to the final push. Question number 5.
Is this worth doing right now?
This is the last question, and it's the most fragile one. The homeowner has done the work. They've scanned your site. They trust you. They feel understood. They followed the path. Now they're hovering over the button, the form, the phone number, and one little thing can kill it. Is it worth doing right now? This isn't about desire. They already want to call. This is about friction, effort, and risk, right? This is the bottom of that value equation, that perceived cost piece. And at this point in the journey, perceived cost isn't about money, it's about hassle. So let's touch on conversion mechanics, the stuff that nobody really talks about. 1, form length. We've tested this on dozens of contractor websites. 10 fields on a contact page versus 4 or 5. When in doubt, use name, phone, email, brief, description of the project. That's it, it's already too much. We've seen sites double their submission rate just by cutting the form down, because every extra field is a question, and every question is a tiny speed bump between I want to call or maybe I'll do it later. Do you need to know where they found out about you? You don't need to ask. You should already have that from your attribution and tracking. You need to know when they want to start. Well, you have their phone for that conversation, right? In order for you to call anyone, you need their contact info. If they hesitate on giving it to you because they just had too many fields to fill out and they bounced, that's on you. Once you have their contact info, you can ask them anything from their address to their cat's name. It doesn't really matter. At this stage, you've made contact and you've started building a relationship. No contact info, no relationship. Number 2, click to call on mobile. Over 70% of homeowner searches happen on a phone. If your phone isn't tappable, if they have to memorize it, switch apps, and dial, you're losing calls. A sticky call to button on mobile is one of the simplest changes that you can make, and one of the most impactful ones. 3, call to action clarity. Submit. That's what most contractor forms say. Submit what? To whom? Why? Get your free estimate is better. Get your free consultation is better. We all want to get. Nobody wants to give, submit, send. The call to action should tell them what happens next and reduce that uncertainty. As a final note, site loading speed and mobile view are non-negotiable. If your site takes more than 3 seconds to load, you're losing roughly half of your visitors before they even see a single word. They're gone and they don't come back. And if your site just looks janky on mobile, buttons too small to tap, text too small to read, images don't load, you've just told that homeowner everything that they need to know about the attention to detail they can expect from your company. Fast on mobile, easy on mobile is the bare minimum in 2026. All right, recap time. 5 questions. Is this for me? Can I trust these people? Do they understand my problem? What happens if I keep going? Is it worth doing right now? That's the invisible conversation. It's happening on every contractor website every day with every homeowner who visits. And most sites don't answer even 2 of them well. AI tools can build you a website that looks polished in an afternoon, but it can't pull language from your actual sales calls. It can't place a review next to the exact CTA where someone is making a decision. It can't map the flow of a homeowner's subconscious questions and architect the page to answer them in order. It can't tell your story. I've seen every wave. Front page websites, flash sites, Joomla, WordPress themes, mobile first design, AI builders. The tools change every few years, but the conversation never does. Homeowners want to know, is this for me? Can I trust them? Do they get it? Where do I go? Is it worth to do it right now? Answer those 5 things in that order with real data and real human elements behind them, and your website becomes something most of your competitors will never have: a conversation that converts. That's it. Let's get the money. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.